Welcome back to the Patrick Whitfield Show. Here we have a very special guest to talk about the NFC Championship game. He is a college football legendary head coach, Hobart's head coach, Papa Rod. Papa, thanks for coming on the show. I guess we'll just talk, and I guess I'll ask you, what are your thoughts about your son, Matt, and his turnaround with the Bucs? Really, down the stretch, they became one of the hottest teams, and it clearly showed how hot they got because they knocked off the Cardinals on Super Wild Card Sunday, and then they knocked off the Falcons last week, a team that they could not beat twice, and it was a really, really close game. And so I guess, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, it's great to be here, Patrick. I would say, having a conversation with Matt. Um, and I know college is completely different than the NFL. Um, but talking to him, it was, we just brought up days of when he was the OC at Hobart. Like, hey, remember when we were struggling and the offense wasn't clicking, and then we just kind of ran the ball more. And I was like, listen, I was like, Pat Barry, he's going to be a special talent in this league. I mean, he's shown flashes. He's got the arm, underrated legs. He's going to show it, but you have a good offensive line. You got Delvin Cook. You traded for Matthews out of New York. You know, why not use your running backs and just ground and pound it, and then let Pat Barry maybe not be a game manager, but him be secondary compared to the running. Because at Hobart, and I know he did that a lot at Syracuse, given that he did not have the talent, he ran the ball a lot. He was one of the most successful running games in all of college football. So, and I get it, it could be as simple as that, but I get it sometimes, when you got a young, up and coming quarterback who's out of this world talented. You want to utilize him, but I think he understands now that he's best when the running game gets going, and then you let Pat loose, um, and plus the defense isn't as good, and running the ball helps the clock keep moving and time of possession. And if you hold on to the time of possession, you're not going to have the opposing offense take their sweet time. They're going to be rushed and more than likely end up getting mistakes. So I think running the ball really helped. And I think once he realized he ripped off a win or two against running, he realized he had to change his whole philosophy for sure.
Great answer. My last question is, so your son grew up as a Cowboys fan. I know you will be attending the game as well. I mean, in terms of the as a father, how emotional do you think your son's going to get, and how do you think the Bucs are going to do against America's team, against them Cowboys?
Well, Patrick, I think, Dallas, I mean, it's going to be great. Jerry's World. Um, I've been there once or twice to watch games with him. Plus, Jerry knows that, Matt was a big fan. I think he played a game in Jerry World when he was the coach at Auburn a few years ago. So it was a great experience, but I know it's going to be a little bit personal. Growing up as a Cowboys fan, loving Roger Staubach, you know, him glued to the TV with his Cowboys, little uniform with the helmet and everything. Um, I know it's going to mean a lot to him to go out and win. And plus, I know, he, as much as he's not going to win. I know he heard a lot of ruckus of maybe he's not fit for the NFL. Maybe he should go back to the college ranks. And the Bucs made a terrible, terrible decision. But I think he's proving like, hey, I just know how to ball. We may not win the most beautiful, perfect ways, but we're winning football games. And I mean, let's also not just gloss over the fact that, you know, they might have been, had a terrible record last year, but the offseason, they really made moves. Their GM really put them in great position. So on paper, they're not as terrible as their record was. Sometimes they get out of the slow gate and they're peaking at the right time, and just not just in football, but sometimes sports. It's not about who has the best record; it's about who's the hottest. And I think the Bucs have a legit shot of knocking off the boys because they're hot. They're hot. They're coming off knocking off their division rival and the top dog in the NFC. So I mean, you already know I'm going to ride with the Bucs. Put the pirate shit up, the Jolly Roger, and let's go to the Super Bowl, baby.
Welcome back to Bucs Franchise. If you heard that lovely interview with Papa Rod, I hope you enjoyed it. I don't mind doing that. To me, it just brings a little bit more realism to the series. And I did have a conversation with a few people, and I'm going to bump Pat Barry up to an 89-90 overall. The plus 4 morale, I get it, but to me, he's a superstar X Factor. He was rated as one of the best rookie quarterback. He's been hot. To me, he's that once in a generation type of quarterback, and to me, it just makes sense not to nerf him to go down regardless of how his stats are. Like, he came in as a stud. I've been training with him, whatnot. Plus, superstar X Factor is the quickest way to develop at the fastest rate. So it just makes sense. So my apologies for that. But before we hop into the game, I kind of want to break down the Cowboys roster. Obviously, Dak Prescott is the quarterback, 9 years in the league. Tony Pollard and then Deuce Vaughn are kind of the 1-2 punch, really. And CeeDee Lamb, who is hurt for this game, dislocated shoulder, so he'll be back for the Super Bowl if they make it. Michael Gallup, and then William Kennedy, who is up for offensive rookie of the year, 81 receptions, just over 1,000 yards and 8 receiving touchdowns. And then they also have Harold Swinton as well, and Jalen Monroe Cropper as well to kind of hold it down for CeeDee Lamb, who's a 99 overall. Jake Ferguson, Luke Shoemaker, Isaac Boss, all guys there. Left tackle Tyler Smith, Ashmir Richardson, so weak guard, good center. Zach Martin, we already know. And then Rob Harvstein. So really the guard is the weakest part. Then our offensive line has to go against DeMarcus Lawrence. 99 overall, Michael Parsons, who has 23 sacks this year. O'Shea, who is hurt for this game as well, but we're going to have to face Maze Smith out of Michigan. Jonathan Cooper, not a super strong left outside linebacker, but they have Leighton Vander Esch, who's also banged up. But then Overshawn is going to be the starting middle linebacker, and then Damian Clark, and then obviously Trayvon Diggs, Donovan Hartwell, Michael Carter, who is hurt with a broken collarbone. So they're going to have to try with Harold Randolph, who is a hidden corner. Pat Barry's teammate, Harold Randolph. Deron Bland as well will hold it down. Then Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, and maybe Calvin Jackson. And then obviously they have a rookie kicker, and then Tommy Townsend. So we will start off with the ball first as the Baltimore Ravens win 28-25 behind Lamar Jackson literally only having 2 incomplete passes, and Mark Gilmore is going to get a big gain of 11 there. So Lamar Jackson had 2 touchdowns. I mean, just incredible. A.J. Dillon didn't have anything. I forgot. I think they signed Mike Evans. Mike Evans is on the Ravens, former Buccaneer great, as Dalvin Cook is going to get stuffed for a gain of 2. Backs against the wall. I mean, I've seen Dallas a lot because for the as Pat Barry's going to throw it to Julian. Julian's going to pick up the first and a little bit more. Gain of 14 and moves the chains. Because for my career mode in Madden 24, Logan Washington as Cole Cohen's going to pick up a good chunk of yards, almost the first. He's with the Cowboys now as the backup. And that episode's going to drop relatively soon as well. Mark Campbell does not get the first, 3rd and inches. So now it's time to put in our big hitter, Jamario Matthews, our bulldozer. Shout out to Tyler Church moving the chains. Well, with the pancake, but Matthews picks up 15. It's Barry. He's going to hand it off. Cook. Beautiful, but it's probably going to be pushed back because of a penalty. Let's see. As it will be holding on Tyler Church. Yeah, no surprise there. No surprise at all. As it's going to be 1st and 20, Pat Barry. He's going to throw what overthrown to Quez Watkins, 2nd and 20. This Cowboys team is tough, man. I mean, defensively, we are pretty solid overall, as that's only a gain of 1. But overall, we don't have the offensive power like they do. As it's going to be 3rd and 19. Pat Barry to Chenault. Tipped away by Jackson. And we're going to have to take the field goal. Clyde Rivers from 49. He's got it. And we're going to take the lead. 3-0. And Dak Prescott and the boys are going to be out on offense now with 2:40 left in the first quarter. It's going to be play action. Oh boy, I can already tell. Kennedy's going to be a problem. I can already tell. I could see why he's up for a Rookie of the Year. That man is nasty. That was a big gain. Brian Young stops Tony Pollard for a gain of nothing. He's a very promising young man. He is. I love it. Skinnerd knocks it away. I guess you could say Eddie Jackson, but I'm pretty sure that was Brent Skinnerd on the coverage. 3rd and 10. This is going to be huge. Dak calling an audible. Dak all day. Eldridge with the sack. Hitting the Michael Jackson. Let's go. That was a great timing. I mean, honestly, the defense has been very, very clutch. Dalvin Cook. And this is kind of why we benched him, because he just doesn't have the speed that we have, and gain of 2. He might be the best overall guy, running back wise, but it just doesn't hit for him. Ooh, Barry. Cohen. Oh, but Trayvon Diggs there. Great read. Great read there. They got guys on defense, like I said. But Cohen's going to get the best of Diggs. That's a dink and dunk to move the chains. The rookie out of Texas A&M, he's got himself a hard task as he's going up against Trayvon Diggs. Gilmore, what a beautiful run. Diggs, Oh, what a juke. Down to the 26-yard line, but Julian Rhodes is hurt. What a huge run that was. Breaking two guys' ankles as well. Gilmore, what a tackle by DeMarcus Lawrence, excuse me. Loss of 3. That's going to be the end of the first quarter. 3-0 Buccos. As we start off the second quarter, Pat Barry, he's going to take off. He's just going to scramble for 8. 3rd and 5. And a quadriceps strain for Mr. Julian, our old faithful tight end. He's going to be out for the rest of the game. Huge loss for Pat Barry. He's been the security blanket for Pat this entire run. But you know what? We're going to throw it to Payne Durham, and he's going to catch it. Beautiful, beautiful diving catch. And this is what it's all about. Next man up mentality. Guess what? They didn't expect us to go right towards them. And we're going to do that as we're going to pick up a couple of yards there with Mark Gilmore. It's going to be second and goal. It's going to be second and goal here. Barry. He's going to... All right. Sorry about the last couple of plays. Apparently, it's the disc was a little bit full on OBS, so I apologize for that. As Barry, he's going to throw to Durham. Touchdown. We're going to take the 10-point lead here in Jerry's world. As now 4:19 left to go in this first half, and it just seems like it's all Dallas until still roughly then Skinnerd on the play. Usually we would have Skinnerd regarding the top target, CeeDee Lamb, because Jamal Dean's been burned so far like that. And Michael Gallup's going to pick up a big chunk of yards there. But to me, it seems like they're going to go with William Kennedy, so we're going to put Brent Skinnerd on William Kennedy. Otherwise, if CeeDee Lamb was playing, I would put CeeDee Lamb there. Like, see? Look at that. Another pass breakup. Like, we're going to have William Kennedy on an island all day long, him and Skinnerd, if he's lined up over there. I wish you could do... I don't know. No, that's William Kennedy in the slot. He's going to pick up the first. The rookie out of TCU, staying in Texas. He's been really, really huge. It's basically been him and William Barry battling for offensive rookie as he coughs up another ball. Levante David and Brent Skinnerd on the play. As it's 2nd and 10, we are almost at the halfway mark here. Moses Pygmy with the tackle for a loss. Loss of 6. As it's 3rd and 16 to go. Dakota Prescott and the boys. Skinnerd with the beautiful tackle. Way to fight off the screens. They're going to kick the field goal. So basically 2:12 left. Both rookie kickers have showed up big so far in this NFC Championship game. As Micah Parsons is going to tackle, only gain of 2 for Mark Gilmore, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning as well. As Mr. Pat Barry, what are they going to cook up? Payne Durham! I don't know why I said Parker. Payne Durham with the huge play. He stepped up huge without Julian, and I mean, that's one of their weaknesses. They don't really have a guy to cover our tight ends. Is Quez Watkins going to pick that up? As now it's going to be 2nd and 3. No huddle. Dalvin Cook, the dump off. We're going to try to do it one more time, no huddle style. As we're going to try to dump it to Dalvin Cook. Incomplete, almost picked. I don't get why Micah Parsons didn't, but hey, we'll take it. 43 seconds left. We still have all 3 of our timeouts. Barry, he's going to try, but 3rd and 9. We'll call our first timeout. Ye old faithful, the slants, which I don't really do that much anymore. I try not to. As Barry. To Cohen, what a play. He threw that ball where only he could get it. Cohen could get it. Shout out to him. Pat Barry, he's just going to take it off. 10, 5, almost gets in. We're going to waste almost all the time. To get in there, Chenault almost, but gets knocked out. 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal here. Empty set backfield. Barry. He's going to take it in himself. Touchdown, Bucs. Let's go. Start off the second half. Nothing crazy happened. Dak just took a knee. But we've shut down the run game. -7 rushing yards. He's going to pick a couple back up, but it's only going to be a gain of 1. Got to give this run defense so far a lot of credit. Don't get me wrong, the offense has played great, but to me, the defense has been the real MVP so far in this NFC Championship game. As I don't know who that is. Ferguson, maybe? No, Kennedy, William Kennedy. That's the first big-time play that he's had for against Brent Skinnerd as well. So maybe the Cowboys, maybe they're starting something. Oh, yeah, they're going to leave Kennedy wide open. Back-to-back plays for the rookie out of TCU. He's a dog, man. He is a dog. The Cowboys, they got themselves another star for Dak Prescott. The crazy thing is we don't have CeeDee Lamb. Jamal Dean redeems himself after getting cooked basically this entire postseason. He redeems himself with an interception there. As this defense just continues to be the star of this championship game. Michael Parsons was right there, but Pat Barry throws it. Thank goodness. As it's going to be 2nd and 10. We've been very, very balanced. 15-15. Pat Barry to Cohen. Even though, hey, we might be dink and dunk, but, you know, Cohen's a playmaker. We just got to give him the ball, and he can do the rest. That's what he's basically going to do here. There's no Mark Gilmore so far in this first possession. Dalvin Cook trying to get something going, but nothing. But DeMarcus Lawrence is hurt, which is going to be huge for the Cowboys defense. Now here's Gilmore on a 2nd and 8. As it's going to be handed off, and he spins off of one guy, almost tries to get another, but it's going to be 3rd and 4. It's going to be 3rd and 4. Have all the momentum in the world. Durham. He's had a huge game. He's going to pick up the first down. Huge, huge play. We move the chains. Gilmore. Oh, beautiful pancake, but only gets a gain of 2. Now Dalvin Cook is back in the game in the backfield. As Pat Barry's going to send Dalvin Cook out in motion. Barry to Watkins. Watkins is going to pick up the first and a little bit more, moving the chains. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see as Pat Barry. It's going to be play action. To Chenault. Incomplete. 2 guys there. Not the greatest throw, but still. Trust Pat. Pat's got an arm. He's got a cannon. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Barry. Ooh, what a beautiful route. Quez Watkins down to the 7-yard line. This is going to be ballsy as Barry throws it to Cohen. Cohen knocked out. 2nd and goal. As it's going to be 2nd and goal. Trayvon Diggs is already in his X Factor. Quez Watkins, but Michael Parsons read that like the back of his hand. Loss of 2, 3rd and goal. That was us just trying to get a little too cute there. As it's going to be 3rd and goal. Watkins. Yes, he got both feet in. Touchdown, Bucs to extend the lead. I mean, what a shocker this game has been. Skinner there, Ramirez also there, but Devin White is hurt. Not what you want to see. I mean, I'm not saying that the Cowboys, but they have a lot of guys. They don't have Leighton Vander Esch. They don't have CeeDee Lamb. But it doesn't matter because Michael Gallup gets a huge gain. But that's still not an excuse. I mean, you know, we don't have our top tight end, but guess what? Mr. Durham has played absolutely out of his mind. Pinkney, Posey with the sack. See, this is why I wish, and I'm not trying to blame as Bruce Sternum, but like the CPU should know, just throw it away. I don't know. My little rant, like I get, you want to have a more competitive game sometimes, but like no matter the sliders, like I feel like the CPU is just gonna do that. As William Kennedy's almost gonna get all that back, 3rd and 3. So with my, like no matter what sliders, like the CPU is still gonna have very, very silly decisions. Jamel Dean gets cooked again. Michael Gallup on the play. I mean, there's still a lot of time. I'm not going to say the game's over until the final whistle, but the Cowboys, they're doing something. Look at that. I don't know who number 82 is, but look at, Boss. They're rookie tight end. Like, they're slowly driving now. They're slowly driving. Mullins is now in the game as Devin Bush basically has what would be a concussion. As look at that, William Kennedy, the rookie, he scores a touchdown on who? Jamel Dean. But look, they have a lot of time. 483 is still a lot of time for this team to catch up. Is Gilmore, he's going to bounce it outside. Cutback, what a beautiful cutback. Their run defense has been one of the best in the top 10 in the NFL, but we've shown them otherwise. We have shown them otherwise, as we just gotta, I don't want to say ground and pound, but Dalvin Cook comes in on a read option. Yeah, people forget that Pat Barry actually has legs. He's not Lamar Jackson, he's not Jalen Hurts type of speed, but he's got solid speed. It's going to be Quez Watkins, speaking of a guy with speed, as he's almost picks it up, but about like 6 or 7. But also, like, I'm running the Dolphins playbook, and just their run concepts are just amazing because, the 49ers, as Gilmore, he's going to pick up the first, but it's going to be an injury timeout. I also think that as well. Gilmore, he's going to try to bounce it outside, only gets 2. Again, we're not trying to go crazy because, again, they just had the ball. As Jamario Davis, he's only going to pick up about 2. But hey, we're wasting time. That's all that matters. We're wasting time. Less time for Dak Prescott and the boys to get the ball back. But Micah Parsons says, don't matter. I'm going to get a sack. 2:09 left in the ball game. The game is not over. To me, I don't want to say Dak is clutch, but he's one of the better quarterbacks in this league. So that's probably going to take them to the 2-minute warning. Yeah. He's one of the better quarterbacks in Madden in terms of not just overall, but like in terms of playing. Eddie Jackson on the coverage. Swinton was the receiver intended. We know for a fact Brent Skinner does not have more than 1 tackle, but it is what it is. 1:56 left in the ball game. Oh, no. William Kennedy cooks us again. Touchdown, Cowboys. Yeah, this kid's a stud. Without a doubt. I told you, they have 1:47 left. Should we have not been in man coverage? I don't think so. But listen, still a lot of ball game left. They call their first timeout. Bruised ribs. Like, again, I don't want to jinx us, but and if I do, then so be it. But Dalvin Cook, he's going to slide, just get the first down. Let's not do nothing more. Like, I don't want to cause a fumble, nothing. Gilmore with the handoff. He's going to get a gain of nothing, but stops the clock. They don't have any more timeouts. To me, first down, we seal the game. Gilmore, he's only going to get 1. Now, we got to pass. Big conversion. Watkins, yes, he's going to go down. Just go down. That's probably going to be ball game. Huge play by Quez Watkins. I ran an extra play just to make sure, as Pat Barry is going to take a knee, and Matt Desring and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Cinderella story, continues. They knocked off the Rams in Super Wild Card. They knocked off division rival and the top dogs, the Atlanta Falcons, and they come into Jerry's World, Matt Desering's favorite NFL team growing up, and beat them. And we're going to the Super Bowl. Let's go, baby. We'll quickly go over the Pro Bowlers. We got Desmond Ridder, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Bijan Robinson, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Cooper Kupp, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Reed, William Kennedy, Kyle Pitts, Ferguson, Noah Fant, Thomas, Mailata, Zach Martin, Aiden Hutchinson, Michael Parsons, Aaron Donald, Allen, Clark, DeMarcus, Sexy Dexy, Josh Allen, Ojolari, Devin Bush, Darius Slay, AJ Terrell Jr., Ward, just a bunch of guys. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, no surprise for the AFC. Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, Rashid Rice, Stephon Diggs. I don't know who that is. Jerry Jeudy, Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Kelsey, Garrett, Orlando Brown, Quentin Nelson, Creed Humphrey, Gregory Rousseau, Miles Murphy, Myles Garrett, Von Miller, DeForest Buckner, TJ Watt, Crosby, Highsmith, Desmond King, Trayvon White, Ladarius Sneed, Edwards, Bass, Hopkins, all those guys. So the craziest part was, I know with the Pro Bowl, if you make the Super Bowl, you kind of like switch it up. You don't really get to see who makes the Pro Bowl roster. But I checked, we didn't even have a Pro Bowler. So the fact that we made it to the Super Bowl with quote-unquote no Pro Bowlers is absolutely shocking. But we're going to go over yearly awards before we end the episode real quick. So no surprise, Patty Mahomes wins MVP, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Desmond Ridder finished fourth, which is disgusting. Prescott, Hurts, Herbert, Rodgers, Allen, and the Colts Coach of the Year, Arthur Smith. Okay, whatever. Doug Peterson, Zach Taylor, John Harbaugh, McCarthy, Sirianni, McVay, Dable, Steichen, and Joseph Wells. No Matt Desering. Disrespectful. AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Jonathan Taylor, then Lamar Jackson. Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, then Von Miller. Offensive Rookie of the Year, DeAndre Bedell. All right. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Donovan Lowell. Best quarterback, Burrow, for some reason. Best running back, Jonathan Taylor. Best receiver, Rashid Rice. Quentin Nelson. Myles Garrett. TJ Watt. Desmond King II. And then Graham Gano. In terms of NFC, best kicker, Joey Sly. Shout out Clyde Rivers for finishing 8th. Offensive Player of the Year, Cooper Kupp. Then Bijan Robinson, CeeDee Lamb, Hurts, McCaffrey, Prescott, Ridder, Walker, Addison, and Tony Pollard. Defensive was Michael Parsons, Donald, Bosa, Jonathan Allen. That's who was the guy I was drawing a blank on. Deion Samuels, who's a stud safety for the Rams. We don't have anyone on this list. Offensive Rookie of the Year, William Kennedy. I don't completely agree with that, but whatever, man. Pat Barry's playing for something more. He's playing for a Super Bowl, but Pat Barry, then Mark Gilmore, who really, really, really came up on near that half end of the season, finishes 3rd. Cole Cohen, who was just literally sitting in Detroit as the 4th, 5th wide receiver in that room. We traded for him, and he's our number 2 guy. Danny St. Louis, the guy who was the 2nd quarterback taken. I think the Packers really fumbled the bag where they gave up the 4th overall pick for the 20-something pick. We basically flip-flopped, and they took Danny St. Louis, followed by Nelson Calhoun, Jacoby Burge, Brandon Moss, Zach Bass. Defensive rookie Jared Young, Luke McLeod, all these guys. Lorenzo Young finishes 6th. Brent Skinner finishes 8th. Best quarterback Desmond Ridder. Pat Barry finishes 10th. I'm glad that, he's getting some love. Best running back, Bijan Robinson. We don't really have anyone on here. Best wide receiver, Cooper Kupp, no surprise. William Kennedy finishes 10th. Best offensive lineman, we have Mr. Cody March on there. Best defensive lineman, we don't have anyone. Micah Parsons, no surprise. Best linebacker, we don't have anyone but Daniil Hunter. Best DB, we don't have anyone up there. And we already showed you best kicker. All right, so I'm showing you the slider, so I'm not crazy. So quarterback accuracy, 43 out of 100. Pass blocking, 68 out of 100. Catching, 50, which I think I'm going to drop to 45, make it a little bit harder. Run blocking, we're going to make it like 60. Ball security, we're going to drop that a little bit as well. Pass defense, interceptions, not that much. Pass coverage, 50. Tackling, 50. Quarterback accuracy is 56. Pass blocking, we can bump that up as well. Wide receiver catching, 50. 45 for run blocking. Ball security, we'll move it up to 50. Interception, 15. Pass coverage, we'll do 50 as well. And then tackling, we'll do 52. And then really kicking's not that much. Injuries down to 15. Fatigue and the player threshold as well. So I'm not, so again, like I don't want to say, I'm not doing anything, but to me, you can have all these sliders, but at the end of the day, if the CPU is not smart, the CPU is not smart. So I figured I would show you guys if some people in the comments are like, oh, how come you're dominating with this team? But there it is. The next episode will be the Super Bowl, as it is in Atlanta, so we're in very familiar territory. I would say we are closer in terms of location compared to the Ravens, but either way, it's going to be awesome. Let me know down in the comments your predictions, as I'm very excited. This has been a hell of a ride year two, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. And until next time, you guys have a good one. Peace.